Hello?
Hi, is this Marcus?
Yes, sir.
Hey, this is Tony Campos.
How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm good, man. Sorry I'm late, man. I got a late start today.
That's all good. I work graveyard, so I just woke up not even an hour ago.
Right on. Cool.
So everything's good? You're okay?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Alrighty then. So, we'll go ahead and get started then. What inspired you to start playing?
What inspired me to start playing bass?
Yeah.
A friend of mine who I knew in elementary school, he had moved out of the neighborhood for a number of years, and then by the time I was in junior high, he moved back into the neighborhood, and he was a metalhead, and he played guitar, and he basically just said, "Hey, Tony, go get a bass, let's start a band." And I said, okay. And that's pretty much why I started playing bass.
Had you not had any aspirations before that to be a rock star?
No, I mean, my dad had an acoustic guitar laying around the house, and I would mess around with it, but I never really took it seriously.
Mm-hmm.
And until I picked up the bass, and then that kind of got the juices flowing, I guess.
Okay. What were some of the early bands that you were in?
That I was in?
Yeah. Early on.
Well, supposedly me and my friend were in a band, but it was just us two. We never had a name for it. And then my first real band, it was two bands in high school. It was one the three-piece kind of punk thrash kind of thing called Mad Infantry, and then I did more thrash metal kind of thing with another couple of friends. We called it Seductive Torment. Yeah, pretty awful.
So when you started forming Static X, when did the sound and the style start clicking?
That took a couple of years. I met Kenny and Wayne when they moved to LA from Chicago, I think it was 94, 95.
Mm-hmm.
And I met Kenny first. We were both working at Ticketmaster. And at the time I started jamming with them, it was more of a grungy kind of thing. Okay. And then we went through a couple different guitar players and, went through a couple different phases. We went a little more alternative at one point. And at one point we were doing, we were going through a hardcore punk phase where we were doing Black Flag and Circle Jerks covers. Yeah, and then one day Wayne came into the room with his Alesis HR-16 drum machine and a guitar riff, and he hits play on the drum machine. He's like, "Hey, check this out!" And we were all like, "Yeah, let's rip off Ministry." That's how, and we just stuck with that.
Obviously, that worked out okay.
Yeah.
Obviously, every album kind of has its own sound and production and style to it. Like, between Wisconsin Death Trip and Machine, you kind of kick things up a notch, got heavier. And then between Machine and Shadow Zone, you got more melodic and all that. Like, what would you cause those changes? Was it natural? Was it something you guys talked about beforehand?
When we were going into the studio to do Shadow Zone, we were under pressure from the label to, be a little more commercial. And so they put us in a room with a couple different producers. And so, yeah, that affected, the band's sound a bit. And, just that push from the label, kind of made us go in a direction that, and looking back now, like, don't get me wrong, there's some good songs on that record, but to me, that Shadow Zone record is the least Static X sounding record that we've done.
Do you think Cold might have had a part in that?
No, not necessarily, because you know, like, as mellow and you know, melodic as that song is, there's still, you know, a lot of those trademarked Static X, the, you know, sounds and vibes on that. To, you know, like, it's slow, but the riff is still really staccato, you know, in the verse. And then, you know, for the chorus, the keyboard part kind of really takes over. Mm-hmm. You know, so it's still in the vein of what we had done before. So that song in particular, you know, I'm okay with. I'm more than okay with that. It's one of our best songs. But there's other stuff on that record that just was. I feel outside of our wheelhouse, you know?
Yeah. So with Start a War, was that kind of a little bit more back to the basics a little bit?
Yeah. At that point, we were starting to make the turn back to you know, what we were good at, you know?
So now with Project Regeneration, what were some of the challenges of creating Evil Disco without Wayne directly there, but just, you know, having material left behind?
Well, it was a weird process for sure. But in a way, particularly the first batch of demos that we started working with, it was kind of like working with Wayne again. Like, all the songs that were written for Wisconsin Death Trip started out with Wayne walking into the room with a guitar riff or two and something on his drum machine.
Yeah.
You know, a drum program or whatever. And that's pretty much what was on these demos. Mm-hmm. Just a guitar riff or two and, you know, and a drum program. And so, you know, and then we'd all get together, jam it out, and come up with a song. And so, in a way, it was kind of like working with Wayne again. So that aspect was really cool. And then the later stuff that we found, a lot of the accompanying music that should have been there wasn't. A lot of the tapes that we found were damaged and irreparable, and even the ones that we could fix and ended up being the vocal tracks. Mm-hmm. So we were kind of like at the opposite of the process, 'cause, like, the vocals were the last thing we used to do, and now it's the first thing we had. So we're like, fuck, okay, we got to flip the script and work that way. Yeah. But having already worked on the previous 5, you know, we were already in that mode and in that vibe of you know, writing in that Wisconsin Death Trip style and vibe. Mm-hmm. So it helped, you know, get us across the finish line on the last batch of songs that we had.
Since you hadn't worked with Ken in a long time, was it pretty natural as soon as you started jamming with him again?
Yeah, you know, it was funny how quickly some of that stuff just, you know, fell into place. Like, that first rehearsal we did together, and we just started jamming the old Wisconsin Death Trip songs. Mm-hmm. That stuff came back pretty fucking quick. It was the later stuff in the catalog that we were like, wait, how does this go again? But yeah, you know, just like it clicked really quick, man, and we were all just, you know, at the end of that day, we were like, yeah, I think this is gonna work out, man. You know,
we're still Static X.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Had you had any conversations with Nick, or was that just not even there?
Yeah, no, I reached out to Nick, you know, before we were gonna make the announcement that we were gonna do the anniversary tour, and because I love Nick, he's one of my favorite drummers I've ever played with, and I wanted to reach out to him to let him know that it's not that I didn't want him, but I felt it was important to have the original lineup, to do this and to pay respects to Wayne and just remember all the good times we had back in the early days when, we were slugging it out in the local scene and, doing gigs in vans and, loading our gear at 4 in the morning and, just doing all the hard work that it takes to just get your foot in the door, and Kenny and Koichi were part of that. And so, it kind of had to be those guys. But yeah, I reached out to Nick and let him know what was happening, and he's cool with it. And he even came out to the Vegas show we did towards the end of last year.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah, all right, cool.
I couldn't miss that one. Speaking of that, the first time that you played with Xero, what was that like? And I don't mean in the rehearsal, I mean like live.
Like, you mean, okay, yeah, the first show. Yeah, I mean, it was really cool. It all just clicked, and, just that first show was so emotional, and so, like the energy was incredible. Like, just sitting on the side of the stage, listening to the intro roll, and like I hadn't been that excited and emotional to hit the stage in I don't know how long, and just when finally hit the stage, it was so just like an explosion of energy and emotion, and then to on the side out of the corner of my eye to see Xero jumping up and down, doing his tribute to Wayne, and it was like that vibe was there, man.
Yeah, I'm sure that was something that you can't even really compare anything else to, feeling that way again.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We'll switch gears a little bit here. How did the Fear Factory gig come along?
Well, I've known Dino for over 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Fear Factory was the first band to ever take Static X out on tour.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so, yeah, and Dino and I have been doing a side project together for 19 years. Mm-hmm. We do a band called Asesino. It's death metal grindcore in Spanish. So yeah, I've known Dino for a long time, and when I was out with Ministry, when was it? I think it was 2015. We were doing, not Big Day Out, the other one, the other, traveling, festival that they used to do in Australia. I forget the name of it, but we were doing that, and Fear Factory was also on the bill. And so, I'm hanging out with those guys, and Matt DeVries, who was playing bass for Fear Factory at the time, mm-hmm. Had expressed to me that he was going to retire after that last tour with Fear Factory. And I knew Al was going to go back into the studio around the middle of the summer. So, I hit up Dino. I'm like, hey, man, you're going to need a bass player. I'm going to be out of a gig soon. So I started learning the songs while I was out on the road with Ministry. And I finished my last gig with Ministry on a Friday night at a festival in Canada. And then I played my first show with Fear Factory the following afternoon at that same festival.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, at least I didn't have to go anywhere.
Yeah, that was an easy transition.
Yeah.
Did you have any part in the writing or recording of Genexus?
No.
No? Okay.
No, I think that had already been done by the time I joined.
Okay. Technically, you're still part of them, right? I mean, I know they're going through their legal battle and all that stuff right now, but
yeah. Technically, yeah.
So obviously, the future's kind of uncertain on that, huh?
Yeah. It's an unfortunate, turn of events that has sidelined Fear Factory, but hopefully, things will get solved sooner than later.
Yeah, I mean, they were after Genexus, especially, and the whole
Manufacture tour. Is a great record, man. That was a really good record.
Everything was kind of on the upswing, and then all of a sudden,
Yeah, then.
How about Soulfly? How'd you get that gig?
I was playing bass for Prong. Well, first, I gotta go back, because I had met Max back in 2000 on that Ozfest.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I think it was 2005, Static X and Soulfly did a co-headline tour in the U.S. So, I'd already known Max for 10 years up to that point. When I was playing in Prong and we were main support for Soulfly. Their bass player at the time, Bobby Burns, had decided that he wasn't gonna no longer play with Soulfly after that tour. And at the conclusion of that tour, Tommy Victor was going to take time off of Prong to go fulfill some commitments he had made with Glenn Danzig. So that meant I was going to be out of a gig.
Mm-hmm. So
after that tour was over, I sent an email over to Gloria, Max's wife and manager, and said, hey, if you guys need a bass player, hit me up. And within a couple of months, I was driving down Arizona to rehearse with those guys and get ready to go in the studio for the Enslaved record.
Badass. So you played with several of your heroes already. Anyone else you would just absolutely love to play with?
I'd love to crack the Metallica gig, but that's locked down pretty fucking solid, man. You can't get any better than fucking Trujillo, man. That guy's a beast.
Yeah. What has been your favorite tour that you've ever done?
Oh, man. I'd have to say the Extreme Steel tour that we did with Pantera, Slayer, and Morbid Angel.
Mm-hmm.
Three of my favorite bands. Yeah, to get to see them play every night for a month and a half. Yeah, when you
walk off that tour, you feel pretty accomplished.
Yeah, it's just like, holy shit, and then they get to play arena-sized, venues and in front of arena-sized crowds, that's always fun. But yeah, it's just and then the icing on that cake was getting on that same tour to get to play Long Beach Arena, which was the first big concert venue I went to, and I got to see Iron Maiden there.
Awesome.
Yeah, and one of my favorite records, Live After Death, that was recorded there. So it's just, it was like I woke up extra early that morning just to walk around the arena, and just like pointed up into the seats. I was like, I sat up there and I smoked weed out of toilet paper with my friend up there in that fucking seat right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, stupid 13-year-old kids, trying to smoke weed out of toilet paper.
So, who have you been listening to in recent years? Newer bands, if any.
Man, it's been a while since I've picked up any music. I think the last thing I picked up was Well, the last new thing I should say, because I've picked up a couple of CDs recently, but mainly just to fill holes in my catalog of broken CDs. Like, I think the last new thing I picked up was the last Fireball Ministry record, and then I picked up this record from this band that was on tour with Ministry. I think it was last year. They're called Carpenter Brute, and if you're into like 80s horror movie soundtracks, you'll love these guys. Like their live show, they literally have a screen behind them playing clips of all these cheesy 80s horror movies, and the music is like to a T. I mean, it's a really cool experience if you ever get a chance to see these guys. But yeah, so I picked up their CD. So those are the last two CDs I picked up.
Cool. Obviously, things are all fucked up right now with COVID and everything. But when you're able to fully get back on the road and tour again, are there any other bands that you would like to open for Static X other than like the ones you had last year?
I haven't really thought about it just because, everything's so up in the air. It's like impossible to really plan anything.
Yeah.
But hey, if Fear Factory can get going up and running, man, I'd love to have Fear Factory out on the road with us,
That'd be a hell of a gig.
Yeah, that'd be killer. I'd even pull double duty on that.
Hell yeah. The future of Static X, is Xero locked in, or is that just for what's going on right now? How do you feel about it?
I mean, it's definitely a possibility. I'm not gonna, look too far into the future. I'm just kind of enjoying the moment, enjoying working with Kenny and Kamichi again, and Xero's doing an awesome job. And right now I'm just concentrating on getting Volume 2 done.
Yeah,
that's the main thing. That's the focus right now. So once that gets done, and the world kind of can get back to some semblance of normalcy, we'll see what lies ahead. I mean, if it's something the fans want to see again, they want to see us continue, I'm certainly not opposed to it.
Yeah.
I still want to go do other things. I got another Assassino record to finish. I'd love to work with Ministry. I'd love to play with the Caballero Brothers again. So I still want to go do other stuff, but if the fans want to see us continue doing Static X, then I'll certainly keep it in mind.
And after all the good praise from Volume 1, it seems like that's kind of what everyone's wanting.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see if that remains once Volume 2 comes out.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully we can keep up the quality and keep it consistent with Volume 1, and hopefully we don't disappoint the fuck out of everybody. We'll see. We'll see.
Are you feeling good about Volume 2 so far?
Yeah. There's still some great tracks on Volume 2. Still plenty of Wayne's vocals. And it's just the trick is going to be to keep it all consistent with Volume 2, production wise. So
I just thought of this right now. It's not something I had previously. For songs like Terminator Oscillator, where it's basically just Xero on vocals, was that from scratch, or is that any of that?
No, that song was built from one of those initial 5 demos that I got from Wayne. So
okay.
The main riff, that's his.
Okay. But the vocals were from scratch, though?
Yeah, the vocals are from scratch.
Okay. All right, I got three questions left for you.
All right.
These are going to be a little bit different. What are you currently hiding in your beard?
In my beard?
Yeah.
My chin.
Do people still call you the Satanic Hispanic?
Very few people. Jose Mangan, who and Jamie Jofta. I think those two guys gave me the moniker. So, and I just recently did an interview with Jamie, and immediately that's what he called me. So.
All right. Now this one, this is something that I ask everyone, and it's always at the end. And I figured, especially being from LA like I am, you should appreciate it.
All right.
Where are the best tacos?
If you're asking me to pick a place, like a restaurant, I can't. Because you can go anywhere here in LA and you're going to get some pretty good fucking tacos.
Yeah. Do you prefer trucks or like little hole in the walls?
They're both pretty consistent, man. You know, it's you can't go wrong with a taco here in LA, man.
You can't. You really can't.
Yeah, it's hard to fuck that up, you know.
All right, I will leave it at that with the questions. As for you, do you have anything else you would like to say?
Just, I just want to say thanks to all the fans that have been so cool and have been so receptive of Volume 1 and, the what we've been doing. And we're going to do our best not to let you down on Volume 2. So hang tight, and we'll get that to you as soon as we can.
Awesome. Can't fucking wait.
Right on, man.
All right, Tony, I appreciate the phone call and the interview. And
yeah, man,
I hope to see you on the road again.
All right, bro. Take care, man.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.